Hey everyone, this is Ilya, and in this video, I will break down why the fulfillment systems that we build in our businesses can also serve as our sales strategies 2.0. And I'll be breaking down what the fulfillment system is, and again, what are the essential parts of us making the magical moments for our clients while they're experiencing our services or products. Now, to begin with, I want to explain why I said sales strategy 2.0. The sales strategy 1.0 is essentially what we as business owners, entrepreneurs, and other higher executives do every single day, right? We go and we reach out to people. We use different marketing methods. We use cold outreach. We post content. We go to networking events. We do all those things just to spread the word about our services or products, and also to just again connect with people and try to sell those services and bring value to those people. Now, the essential part of any fulfillment system, which basically is how we deliver the value to our customer, is the customer satisfaction, right? And when I start thinking about this, I think about myself being a customer, right? When I remember, again, a couple of things that I bought just recently, or a couple of services that were provided to me, I break it down into two components. The first one is the results I got, right? Again, it can be the product that you bought, it can be whatever the case is. And the second piece is the experience that I experienced. So basically how I got the result. So the first question, the result, is what do I get? The experience is how do I get that result? And if you think about this, again, this is a two-sided coin, right? So without either of these components, the satisfaction is not gonna work. So if you have a bad result and bad experience, so both of these things just make it bad, right? So you're not gonna be satisfied, you're not probably gonna refer other people, and you will not probably come back and purchase the same service or product. The same happens when you have a bad result, but good experience, right? Even though your experience was good, again, if you did not get what you expected to get, you're not gonna come back and purchase this one more time. The third option is you have good results and you have bad experience. And you might say, now this can work, right? Because you got what you expected, you paid for that result, but the experience was not good enough. But if you think about this, if this happened to you, right? And it happens to us every single day when we purchase some products or services, it's just not gonna work. You're not gonna go and tell your friends about how bad you were treated, even if you get the result that you paid for. And again, the same way I feel about this, right? If I get the result, but I'm not getting good experience, I'm not gonna tell my friend or my family about this specific service or product, and I do not want them to experience the same bad experience that I had. And the last component that works only if you have good result and good experience, right? So when those two components are in place, we can say that the customer is satisfied, that we are satisfied with the service or product that we purchased. In this example, I just wanted to explain the reason of why the experience is so important, because as business owners, most of the time, including myself, we are focusing on the results. We want people to get the results with our products or services, and we forget about how do we deliver those results. So this is why I want you to think about experience is as important as the results your client get. Now, if we say that the experience is as important as results, most of the time what happens is the first 48 hours of us working with the customer, or after they give us the money, is the most important part of our fulfillment system or fulfillment process. And there is a saying from Joy Coleman that says, the first impression sets the tone for the entire relationship. Get it right and you create loyalty. Get it wrong and you invite churn. And this guy, he kind of talks about the client retention. He says, never lose a customer again. This is his book. If you want to read it, I highly recommend it. And the main idea here is that during those first 48 hours, and again, 48 hours is just kind of an approximate number or timeline. It can be either squeezed, right? If you provide your services or product faster, it can be extended if you provide your services or product over a couple of weeks, months. So most of the fulfillment systems, and most of the time we start working with the customers, this process breaks. Most of the time when we start working with customers during those first 48 hours, the fulfillment system breaks because we do not give them enough attention. We do not give them enough clarity for them to want to work with us for the next couple of months and to come back, refer other customers to us. It just doesn't work out most of the time. And this is why I want us to focus on this first 48 hours and understand how we can make that experience better with the customers. One of the other reasons of why this first 48 hours are so important is because of the commitment that clients make. And then if you think about yourself as a customer, when you hand over the money to someone, you expect to be treated with respect, you expect to be in control of the situation, and the more and more clearly we communicate with the customer during those 48 hours, and the better we show them that we know what we're doing, that they've made the right decision to work with us and purchase our services, and that we will get them to their point B where they want to be. This makes our customers want to refer again more people to us and just stay with us longer because we deliver on our promises. In order for us to answer the question of how we want to treat our customers during first 48 hours, or even during the full fulfillment system or fulfillment process, I think it's a good question to ask of what would I want to experience as a customer. And as a couple of examples I can give you, and I just brainstormed this myself, I would probably want, as soon as I give them the money, I would want to receive a thank you or welcome email within hours or even maybe minutes after the deal is closed. Yeah, it just helps me feel more in control. It helps me understand that I've made the right decision, that they are with me, that they're working on the project that I just purchased. Another example is kickoff call scheduled immediately after or during the final sales call. Most of the time that gets ignored and we're just waiting for some work to be done, and we're doing some works for weeks, and after that we just show up and share some examples or progress with the client. We want our customers to feel in control. We want them to feel that they know what's going on, that they know where things are going, and this is why having those recurring sessions scheduled from call to call, so basically when you have a meeting, you schedule the next meeting so they know when to expect an update, is just so important. And again, if you think about it yourself as a customer, it makes total sense because you would want the same experience. Now, the simple intake form to submit all information needed is as important, because when you ask clients about different sort of things via email, and again, it just feels so disorganized, right? Sometimes they can even get lost, and they have a lot of things on their plate as well. You want their experience to be as easy as possible, because the value that you're providing is essentially how easy for them it is to get to the result with you. This is why they're paying you the money. So having those intake forms, and they are not necessarily online forms, they can be any type of collecting information, of how you collect information, but just make it as easy as possible, because if I were to give someone an information, I want to do it as quickly as I can, as conveniently as I can, and again, just online forms is one of the first options that come to my mind, so this is why I provided it here. Feeling confident the fulfillment team has all the information is also crucial, because most of the time there is a very bad handoff between sales team and fulfillment team, so that when person starts working with the company, the fulfillment team or people who actually deliver the service might start asking the same questions that that person already answered during the sales process. And you just sometimes want to say, hey guys, just need to go back and talk to your colleague. They already asked me all those questions. So just for us to prevent this frustration, we want to have and provide that feeling, make them feel confident that we gave all the information necessary to the fulfillment team. They know what they're doing. They're not going to ask all those questions one more time. They have that information in our system, and it kind of makes the experience much better. And the final simple example is seeing that work has begun immediately. It's just as simple as that. When you send a very simple email saying, hey, we've just started working on this, and this is what we're gonna see on the next meeting, again, just makes us as customers feel in control and feel that we're providing more value, right, to those customers. And for them to feel again that they made the right decision to work with us and they are going in the right direction of where they want to go. With all those items that we discussed, those things that we would love to experience. Now, what are the things that we do not want to experience as customers? And this will just help us understand how to structure the fulfillment systems that we build. And essentially, every single step that is unclear to the customer will be perceived by them as low value step, or something that does not relate to the end result that you're providing to them. Now, I'm gonna start with breaking it down this way. The experiences that we have is directly linked to the fulfillment system of how do we deliver the value to our customers, right? And if we walk our customer through this process and they understand every single step and why we do this step and why we complete this step, they will have no question. Everything we do, they know that it's important. They know that it's crucial for us to deliver value to them. Now, imagine if you are not communicating well enough with your customer, and every single step you do, they start having questions of why in the world would you do this? Or why do we need this? Why do we need that? And they start perceive those steps as low value. They think that they're not related to the end result they want to experience, and they might ask you questions of why did we pay for this step? Why are you wasting time doing this instead of doing this? Because I think this is much more valuable to me, right? Something like that. So most of the time, the fulfillment processes that we run, again, and as professionals, and we're doing the best we can, we are trying to leave out everything that doesn't bring value, and again, do the steps that will get our customers closer to the result. But if we do not communicate well enough that the steps we're doing are getting you closer as a customer, closer to the result where I want you to take, customers might just say, you know what, it doesn't really make sense for me. Like, I don't want you to waste your time here. So again, every unclear step in the process, even if it is high value, if it is the most important step in the process for you to provide that value to the customer, if it's not communicated enough, and it's not communicated clearly, it will be perceived as a low value step. And most of the time, customers might get frustrated. Why do you waste your time doing that? And as we discuss things that, again, we get frustrated by as customers, right? And we do not want our customers to experience in our fulfillment process and systems. I want to quickly break down of, again, how do we ensure that high value perception of customers feeling that we're providing the premium services? And I know there are more components to this, but I found that these three kind of describe 80% really of how the premium or high value perception is structured. The first component is speed, meaning the faster we provide the services, or we're trying to minimize the time delay for customers to get the results that they want to get together with us. A very good example is SaaS companies. If you think about HubSpot CRM system, when you subscribe to a platform, you are invited to some onboarding meetings. They start sending you emails and connecting you with their implementation partners because they know the faster you get result from their platform, the more likely you're gonna stay with that platform for longer. This is why they're investing so much during the first couple of weeks. And again, if they see that you're not interacting, that you're not engaging, then they're gonna probably think that you will unsubscribe very, very soon. Another component is predictability. And in this example is just increasing the perceived likelihood of achieving the results together with us as a service or product provider. And good example from the real world here can be Ritz-Carlton hotels, right? This is luxury hotels around the world. And the main thing is, when you think about this, when you go to Ritz-Carlton, wherever you are, right, in any city of the world, right, where you have that hotel available, if you go there, you know what to expect. You know that the experience there is going to be predictable. You're gonna have clean bed sheets. You know what's gonna be the quality of your breakfast, of your food. You know what's probably gonna have a beautiful view out of your window. So if you're lucky enough. So all those things are components of why Ritz-Carlton hotels are considered premium. It's just because they deliver every single time. The experience is exceptional. And the last piece is high quality. And again, without quality, it's probably the previous two components do not really matter. So if you have fast and predictable service, but doesn't have quality as part of that, it's not gonna work, right? It's because quality essentially delivers the value to the customer. So if there is no quality most of the time, and again, quality can be broken down into different aspects, right? And different components as well. I'm not gonna dive deeper into that, but essentially if you don't have quality, other components do not matter. So quality is the basis of high value perception of your services. So most of the time providing services or product, we do our best to provide the highest quality services or product to the customers. So these are the three components that we need to include into our fulfillment systems that we build in order for our clients to feel that they're getting the highest value possible and that they're paying premium for the service and that they chose the right partner to work with and basically getting the right value back from what they're paying to us. Now, the words system or processes might associate with something too rigid, right? You might say, you know what, I'm providing services and I don't want them to be too rigid. I want them to be flexible because my clients can have different wants and needs and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted you to give you an example of the story of how I went to Disney World. So when we spent time there with my family, when I entered the park, and by the way, I'm not a huge fan of roller coasters, really. I don't like them, and I rarely ride them, really, if it's just like, like little ones. But when we entered the park, the amusement park, I was just shocked. The experience that I had there was just magical. Everything that I saw looked like magic, it felt like magic, and the main thing is it didn't feel like anyone was doing anything. It just basically was just happening naturally. This is why that amusement park felt like a different world, like a magical world. At the time I didn't realize this, but when I kind of came home, after a couple of weeks, I started thinking is probably behind those magical moments that I experienced, and by the way, everyone else that was in an amusement park experienced the same thing, probably behind those experiences they have not rigid, but complex and rigorous processes, backstage processes as they call them, that help them deliver those magical moments on the consistent basis. And that made me feel that, wow, we can build structures and systems, and we can build them in the businesses. And even though it might feel from inside that those systems are boring to our employees, they are not that exciting to work in, to be part of, but they can still produce magical moments to our customers day in and day out. And that kind of changed my view on all the systems and process work, really, because even though the things are systemized and structures, they can still bring those magical moments. And the main thing is those magical moments can be manufactured on demand, which is extremely important if you want to, again, deliver those things predictably to your customers. With all that said, I want to wrap up with a final phrase that says, whatever you do it well. So well that when people see you do it, they will want to come back and bring others to see how well you do it. This is Walt Disney philosophy, and I hope you make this part of your philosophy as well when building fulfillment systems and delivering magic to your customers day in and day out. I'll see you in the next one.